Good afternoon, Husky Pups. Here is Miss Batone with your daily ELA lesson. Once again, we are going to focus on poems. It is standard RL.3.5. I can refer to parts of stories, dramas, and poems using terms such as chapter, scene, and stanza and describe how parts build on earlier sections. Today's poem is a Diamante poem. What is that? A Diamante poem, or a diamond poem, is a style of poetry created by American poet Iris Tita in 1969. Diamante poems are commonly known as diamond poems because the shape of the text forms a diamond. The beginning and ending lines are the shortest, while the middle contains longer lines. Diamond poems are 7 lines long and do not rhyme. Each line follows a very specific pattern, and the poem itself can be either a synonym or an antonym, Diamante. We are just going to do synonym. In a synonym, Diamante, the nouns at the beginning and end of the poem basically mean the same thing. So I'm going to first give you an example of a Diamante poem and show you the rules for writing one. Line 1 is a one-word subject. So as you look to the right, puppy. Line 2, 2 adjectives describing the subject, sweet, young. Line 3, 3 verbs ending in ing that are related to the subject. Running, sleeping, playing. Line 4, 4 nouns total, 2 about line 1 and 2 about line 7. Ball, leash, treats, backyard. Line 5, 3 verbs, once again, ending in ing related to the subject in line 7. Barking, eating, fetching. Line 6, 2 adjectives describing line 7. Playful, silly. Then of course line 7 is a one-word end subject. Another word for puppy, pup. So there's my first example. My second example is going to be a Diamante on my grandma. Remember, 3rd grade, our focus all week is Mother's Day and any women in your life that are important to you. So yesterday I showed you pictures of my mom. Today I'm going to show you some pictures of my grandma. So here is the poem, the diamond poem as we call it, that I did. Grandma, lovable, kind, baking, cooking, listening, pasta, red oak, cookies, and bread. I picked those because those were 4 nouns that really came to mind when I thought of my grandma. She used to make pasta all the time. Red Oak was a campground that we used to go to when I was little. She always made tons of cookies at Christmas time, and every Monday night we would go to her house for dinner, and she always had fresh bread. Then on to our next line with our ing. Washing, working, hugging, thoughtful, wise, and I always called her my Grammy. So now 3rd grade, I'm going to go to Epic and I'm going to share a Mother's Day book about a penguin family. It's called A Mother's Journey. In the rosy glow of the setting sun, in mid-May when Antarctica's winter has just begun, a young female emperor penguin pushes out her egg. It is the very first egg she has ever laid. Cream white and cone-shaped, it is softball-sized, and steaming from her body's heat, her mate waddles fast to pick it up. But bending forward, she scoops the egg onto her feet. Then she covers it with her belly flap and holds it stung in her warm brood pouch. So there's a penguin family. The male sings his song and nudges her neck until at last she lets the egg roll out. This time, the male scoops it up and pushes it onto his own brood pouch. His winter's job has now begun. During the next 2 months, a tiny chick will grow inside the egg, and all the while, the male will keep it warm and safe from the fierce winter storms that blow across Antarctic ice. The partners sing a last duet. Then the young female joins a line of female emperors marching away from the colony. She too has a job to do. So the mother penguin has a very important job. She needs to feed herself and build up strength to be a mother. Then shortly after the chick hatches, she will come back with food for her hungry baby. But the closest food is in the open sea, more than 50 miles away. Flopping on her belly, the young female scoots along, following the others over the ice-crusted snow, and the tracks they leave trail after them. So a long journey ahead for these mother penguins. But the ice they are crossing is just an ice sheet floating on the sea. So here and there, the females pop in to swim across the cracks. When they come to an iceberg, gleaming and pointy, the young female and the others stand up and waddle through the maze of scattered ice boulders. On the second day, a fiery green aurora lights up the winter sky. Then the plodding line of emperors seem to dance with round black shadow partners, mimicking their steps. So together they're marching out to find food. On and on the young female travels until on the third day, the roaring wind blows too hard to push through and swirls diamond, oh, there's our diamond word for our poem, dust snow into a stinging cloud. Then she joins the group, standing close together. With feathered backs out and heads pulled in, they huddle to wait out the storm. So as they're traveling, all of the mother penguins, they have to huddle together because it's so fierce and cold and nasty out there. Day after day, 5 days in all, the young female and the emperor penguins go on and scoot across the sea ice. Then finally they reach the pack ice, a patchwork quilt of milk white chunks stitched together by seams of blue-black water. Look at all of that ice. It has been more than a month since her last meal, so she hasn't had a meal in a month. But the young female doesn't rush to jump in. There could be leopard seals lurking in the dark sea. The female emperors crowd together at the very edge of the water. Finally, those at the front dive in, the others rush in after them. Look at that picture. That's a great illustration, Husky Pups. Flapping her flippers, the young female flies through the water, zipping this way and that, until with swift and graceful twist, she swims into a school of shimmering silver fish and easily swallows her fill. So she eats and eats and eats because she's got to take that back to the chick. Every day, the young female searches for food, sometimes alone and sometimes with others. She always goes hunting when the sky is brightest, even when that means hunting by moonlight. She needs to see cracks in the ice cover where she can poke her head out and take a breath before diving again. Some days the young female dines on pink krill plucked from clusters as thick as clouds. Other days she chases fish and little squid, and darting after them, she gulps down all she can catch. When she has no luck near the surface, the young female dives deep down through the dark, ice-cold water to the bottom of the sea. There she nearly always catches a scaly Antarctic Jonas fish, sometimes 2 or 3. One day, a big leopard seal surprises her, swimming up fast from the dark depths. with its jaws open wide. The young female pumps her flippers hard and leaping in and out of the waves swims fast and escapes. So this journey is dangerous for the mother penguin and she has to be super brave. Day after day, the young female hunts and watches out for hunters. In all, she travels more than 930 miles. Wow, third grade, what a great mom. But it is a zigzag course that never takes her too far from the ice edge. Then one day at the beginning of August, as the ruby red sun peaks above the horizon, the young female leaves the sea. A feeling deep inside tells her it is time to go. If all is well, by now her egg has hatched. So when she goes back with a belly full, her baby should have hatched. The young female joins the other female emperors heading back to the colony. This time they have even farther to go. The areas of ice they must cross has grown bigger during the cold, dark winter months. So scooting and walking, the little group hurries. They have a long way to travel and the clock is ticking. The newly hatched chicks need the food that females are bringing, stored in their bellies, and their mates cannot wait much longer to leave for the sea, of course, to feed themselves. For 7 days, the female emperors march through long, dark nights and short, pale days, through gusting winds and blowing snow. At last ahead, they see the huddled mass of waiting males waddling into this group. The young female sings and listens hard for just one singer among all of the others. Finally, she finds her mate. Standing close, the pair bow their heads and sing together. So the family's back together, guys. Then the male rolls back his belly flap and shows the young female her very first chick. Oh, there he is. At the sight of its mother, the chick peeps to be fed. And when the chick is settled on her feet, she brings food up and lets it eat. With one last song, her mate heads off to sea. It is the young female's turn to care for the little emperor. But then that's exactly the reason the new mother has made her long journey. So what a great adventure about a fantastic mom. So now we are going to go back to our slideshow. And what I did, third grade, is I created a diamond poem about our penguin mom. So I start off with mom, the noun, lovable, helpful, 2 adjectives that describe her, waddling, protecting, eating. These are all ing words that the mother penguin did. Our 4 nouns, bird, provider, krill, and ice. Any 4 nouns can work that have anything to do with the mom. Huddling, traveling, hunting, strong, brave, and then of course we end with penguin. So I just wanted to share one last picture of me with both my grandmas and how this week is all about Mother's Day, third grade, and I cannot wait to see the fantastic poem